So AI is getting incredibly powerful, right? It's being woven into pretty much everything we do. But with all that power comes a massive challenge, maybe the biggest one of our time, making sure this tech is actually fair, that it's accountable, and that it really serves all of us. Because, let's be honest, if we mess this up, the consequences are just huge. I mean, think about it. We see AI doing these amazing things like composing music that moves us or diagnosing diseases better than a human doctor. But the big question, the really tricky one, isn't can it do cool stuff? It's can it be fair? Can a machine, just a bunch of code and data, actually make decisions that are just and equitable for all of us? That's what we're going to dig into today. All right, let's get into it.
So to figure out how to do AI right, you know what we have to do first? We've got to look at where it's gone terribly wrong. And these aren't just like theoretical problems on a whiteboard. These are real stories with real and sometimes really damaging consequences for actual people.
And these failures are everywhere, from your job application to your social media feed. I mean, you've probably heard about the hiring tools, like that infamous one from Amazon that basically taught itself to be sexist, throwing out any resume with the word women's on it. Or how about facial recognition systems that are way more likely to misidentify people of color, sometimes leading to wrongful arrests? And then there's social media, where the algorithms are just designed to keep you clicking, even if that means pushing misinformation that spreads like a wildfire. To the algorithm, outrage is just another form of engagement.
So yeah, it's really important to get this. These are not just little technical glitches. We can't just file a bug report and move on. When an algorithm is biased, someone might not get a job they totally deserve. A flawed system could put an innocent person in jail. And algorithms that thrive on outrage, they're tearing apart our ability to even talk to each other. This is about real harm in the real world.
Okay, so that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? How on earth does this even happen? I mean, these are supposed to be logical, objective machines, so why do they end up being so unfair? Let's dig in and find the root cause. The culprit has a name. AI bias. And here's the simple truth of it. An AI system is basically a mirror. It reflects the world it learned from. An AI doesn't wake up one day and decide to be prejudiced. It learns from the data we feed it. And if that data is full of our human biases, well, the AI is going to be biased too. It's that simple.
You know that old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, with AI, it is the absolute gospel truth. So how does the garbage get in? Well, there are a few main ways. First up, historical data. Imagine training a hiring AI on decades of past hiring decisions. It's not just learning who got hired, it's learning all the sexism and racism from those decades too. Then you've got skewed samples. If your facial recognition AI is trained almost entirely on photos of white guys, guess what? It's going to be pretty terrible at recognizing anyone else. And then there's the really scary one, feedback loops. The AI makes a bias call, that biased outcome gets recorded as a success, and that success gets fed back into the system, making the bias stronger and stronger. It's a vicious cycle.
And this is why just looking at a single accuracy number can be so misleading. You might see a model that's, say, 90% accurate for one group of people, but only 70% accurate for another. So you look at the average and think, hey, that's not so bad. But in the real world, that system is consistently failing an entire community. It just goes to show, accuracy without fairness, it's not just a bad statistic, it's actively dangerous.
Okay, so we've spent some time on the problem. And yeah, it's complex, it's serious. But here's the good news. This isn't hopeless. We do have a path forward. The idea isn't to slam the brakes on AI, but to build it the right way. So let's talk about what a framework for AI that we can actually trust looks like.
Look, building trustworthy AI isn't about finding one magic bullet. It's about building a solid foundation. And that foundation has 5 main pillars. First, it's got to be reliable. It has to do what it says it's going to do, consistently. Second, transparency. We need to be able to understand why it made a decision. No black boxes. Third, and this is a big one, fairness. It has to treat everyone equitably. Then, of course, privacy and security are non-negotiable. It has to protect our data. And finally, maybe the most crucial one of all, accountability. We have to know that a human is always in charge and ultimately responsible.
I really love this quote. It just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly reframes the whole conversation. People who talk about AI ethics aren't trying to stop progress. It's not about being anti-innovation. It's about grabbing the steering wheel and making sure this incredible, powerful vehicle we're building is actually headed somewhere we all want to go, a future that works for everybody.
All right, let's zoom in on that last pillar because it's a tricky one, accountability. This is maybe the hardest part of the entire puzzle because when an AI messes up, who's on the hook? Who's responsible?
No, really, think about it. If a self-driving car crashes or a medical AI misdiagnoses, who's at fault? Is it the programmer who wrote the code? The person who collected the training data? The company that sold the product? The doctor who trusted the recommendation? See, the answer is, well, it's really complicated.
And that's exactly why we need something called AI governance. Don't let the fancy words scare you. It's just a rule book for how to handle this stuff responsibly. It starts with writing down your ethical principles, like fairness and transparency. Then you've got risk management. That's just trying to spot problems before they blow up. Of course, you need to be constantly auditing and testing for bias. And here's the key part. You need clear accountability structures. You have to know ahead of time who makes the final call when things go sideways.
Because at the end of the day, this isn't on one person. It's a shared responsibility. It's like a chain. You have the developers building it, the data scientists feeding it, the product managers deciding what it should do, even the people like you and me who use it. Every single person in that chain has a piece of the responsibility to make sure AI is used safely and ethically.
And let's be crystal clear about one thing. This is the bottom line. You can give a task to a machine, but you can never, ever delegate ethical responsibility to it. A human being has to be the one who is ultimately accountable. Full stop. But look, let's be real. Even with the best intentions, mistakes are going to happen. No system is ever going to be perfect. So the true test of a company's ethics isn't do they make mistakes. It's what do they do when they mess up. How you respond is everything. This quote just says it all, right? Think about your own life. You can forgive someone for making a mistake. What you can't forgive is a cover-up. Trust doesn't shatter because something went wrong. It shatters when you feel like you've been lied to. Being upfront isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smartest thing to do. So what does that look like in practice? Well, there's a pretty clear playbook for rebuilding trust. Step 1, own it. Admit the mistake, do it fast, and do it openly. The longer you wait, the worse it looks. Step 2, explain what happened. And I mean explain it in plain English, not a bunch of confusing tech speak. And step 3, show your work. Don't just say you're sorry, show people the concrete actions you're taking to make sure it never happens again. Actions always speak louder than apologies.
And that really brings us to the key takeaway here. Chasing perfection is a fool's errand. You'll never get there. But chasing transparency, that's something you can actually do. And in the long run, being transparent will build more trust than being perfect ever could.
So in the end, it all comes back to that mirror analogy. AI reflects us. It learns from our history, our data, our choices. It shows us the best of ourselves, but it also shows us our blind spots and our ugliest biases. So as we're building this incredibly powerful technology, the question we all have to ask is the one right here. What values are we teaching it? Because the future that AI builds, well, it's going to be a reflection of the answer we give to that question right now.
Did you find this content helpful? Please comment, share, like, or subscribe.